So I'm here on the stand with amazing photographer Rebecca Litchfield. I first came across Rebecca last year, right here in this hall, because a massive crowd of people appeared out of nowhere and sat rapt with attention while Rebecca took to the stage and gave an amazing speech about some of her photography. So really, I think you're probably the best person to tell us what it is that you shoot, Rebecca.
I shoot abandoned buildings, and I've been a fashion photographer before that, and now I'm shooting models in abandoned buildings as well.
So I think you've managed to turn almost two passions and bring them together and turn that into your business, really.
Yeah, I was doing fashion photography for a couple of years after leaving my degree in fashion photography, and I was shooting a lot in the studio, and after a couple of years it did get a little bit tiresome and boring, just the same old kind of grey backgrounds, and then I kind of developed this love of abandoned buildings, and it meant I could go out and take photos outside and do more exciting things, so it's great, and now I combine them.
And now I know for a lot of people, going to abandoned buildings, and you do this around the world, would be both terrifying and enormously dangerous. Is it, or what are your thoughts on risk and danger and that kind of thing?
It is dangerous. There's a lot of dangers involved. For example, my friend recently fell 30 foot off a building and he's in hospital with many, many broken bones. And that's not funny, but there is a lot of dangers involved. But it's kind of exciting to do this. I mean, everyone just kind of lives their 9 to 5 jobs, and I just can't do that. I need to be doing something really exciting, and this is it for me.
And you probably agree, but I'm always amazed by, because I'm a parent, the number of people who are terrified for their children in some really safe environments, but then take them and drive them around the city to put them to sleep, which is actually one of the most dangerous things you can do. So am I right in saying, actually, I'm imagining a lot of what you do is also about risk minimization, right? You're pretty safe when you're doing this.
We always go with other people, so we'll never go on our own. And for example, like the floors are quite dangerous sometimes because of all like the weather conditions that have weathered them and decayed them. So we'll always like prod the floor and stuff before we step out onto it, and we're just always really, really careful because these places are dangerous.
And what kind of reaction did you first get when someone hired you to do a fashion shoot and you said, great, rather than the studio, I'd like to do this in an abandoned building?
I haven't actually had that situation. I mean, most of the fashion shoots people have hired me to do, they've seen my work before, so they kind of know that that's what I do. But there was this one model who was 17, and I'd kind of booked her through the agency, and they hadn't briefed her on what I'd be doing with her. So she turns up, and it was like this abandoned school, and we walked in for the first time, and she looked at me, she goes, oh my god, have you set this all up for me and this shoot? And she was just so naive, and it was so cute, and she just really loved it, so it was good in the end.
That's absolutely amazing. And now one of the other things that you mentioned that I find really interesting is there are thousands of people graduating every year from excuse me, from fashion photography courses, and you've managed to turn that into an amazing career.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cliched question, but I mean, it's one that I kind of find really interesting. What do you do differently that means that you're now, a few years after graduating, working as a photographer?
I think there's two types of photographers. The ones that actively go out looking for work, and they're not kind of doing that much creative work. They're just kind of going out meetings all the time trying to find the work. But I'm more of like a seed sower. I'd like create the personal work, and for a while I won't earn that much money, but I'll be doing all this personal work and creating this great stuff that eventually it gets seen by people. And then these kind of like stems, so I do one shoot and then this stems onto something else and something else. And it's just always like doing this, pushing yourself to do this personal work, and yeah, just keep it going.
And letting the work speak for itself. That's brilliant. So where can everyone see more of your work? What's your website?
RebeccaLitchfield.com.
And that's Rebecca spelt normally and then Litchfield. And are you on Twitter and Instagram and stuff?
Yep, Twitter, I'm r_Litchfield. Facebook, I've got Rebecca Litchfield photography page.
Cool. Brilliant. I will check that out, and we'll be retweeting and things. Now, do you want to jump into the ioShutter selfie photo booth?
Go for it.
Excellent. Let's do that. Now. Excellent.
Very, very cool.
Brilliant.